Hey guys, we're going to quickly go through and add a couple things in. You notice nothing is sounding when my Pong hits the ground. So let's fix that real quick. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it. You could go down into your edge noises. You could add another if statement by grabbing in here and bring in another if statement saying if Pong bounces off ground, then play this sound. Or we kind of already have an if statement like that up here in Lives Math. Now it doesn't matter where you add these things as long as it works, because coding just has to work. If lives left, if Pong bounces off ground, we're just going to add the sound in. We don't need a variable. We're going to grab that in here, down arrow, choose. I'm going to accent and choose this one. And let's test it out, see if it works. See? Now we've got something off of the ground. We're also going to add a space keyboard command because we're going to add some things in at the end of the game that dictates that lives left equals 0. And instead of playing the game and waiting for the token to bounce around and reduce our lives to 0, we're simply going to make a new key. We're going to make a cheat key. I am going to go to Control, going to grab an if, drop it in, go back to World. If key is down, I'm going to choose my space bar. And if my key is down, I want to change lives left to 0. So I will bring in my variable here. I'm going to name it lives left. I don't know what you called yours, but you just have to reference the right thing. And my lives left is going to equal 0. No math. We're not going to subtract and press the space bar several times. We'll just say, make it equal to 0. Run. And I press space bar. We got our game over. There we go. Here's why I'm doing that, because I want to add something cool, which is a zoom in. And I don't have my example out there, but we're going to add that in real quick. Every time you add something that you want to do, you need to add a variable. So this is going to be a new interaction. So I'm going to add a variable at the top. I'm going to declare it. And I'm going to name it zoom in. My zoom in is going to start out at 0.2 because that's going to be the scale of our game over. Yeah, you got a little thing saying, hey, it's not in your program. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. So let's go down to the bottom here, and let's add in a new function. So I'm going to add a new function down here, grab my little function, doesn't matter where you bring that in, could be all the way at the bottom. I'm going to name it not the same as the variable, I'm just going to name it zoom. Inside that function, I'm going to put an if, grab your if statement, drop it in, oops, inside the green. And we're going to say if zoom in equals, so I've got to grab this little deal, oops, my math, sorry. If zoom in is less than or equal to, now this is going to be my zoom in, which is my variable right here. So if it is less than or equal to 0.8, I'm going to change, I'm going to add zoom in plus a number here. So let's go back to my variable, grab this, bring it in. There's my variable. I'm going to label zoom in. Now I'm going to add to it because I want to make things bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm now putting in zoom in plus 0.0 too, because I want it to zoom in slowly. So my game over sign will slowly zoom in, but not too slowly. I've got to call my function into the program, so I need to come back up to the top, add a new function, and I'm going to call it by the name of the function, which is zoom. Jumping up here, adding it to zoom. So zoom is now called in, and then I'm going to tell it that my game over pick scale equals zoom. So I'm going to jump back into my function where it says game over, grab my sprite scale, drop it inside of here, and game over pick scale now equals zoom in, which is this number right there. Now, when things go to 0, okay, so you noticed just a second ago that it didn't work. Here's why it didn't. I put my zoom function into my main program up here. That got us, well, now it's working, so I don't know why. Ah, yeah, see? There it is. Doesn't work. Reset that, grab zoom out of here. That was a mistake, sorry. Bring it down and put it in to your game over part and run zoom inside of there. Now, when our lives are 0, game over zooms in. All right, that's all the time I got for right now. We'll keep adding a couple things and start on a different game that's a different variation of this in the next video.